Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Plurk, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Monday, the 21st of July, 2014, and this is episode 88, Too Tired for a Title. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. This week I'm going to talk about life stuff at the end because it's going to be a really long ramble, and I know some people don't want to sit through all that. So, right into it. The Stuffy Along still going on. It runs through the end of next month. Any stuffy that you finish between July 1st and August 31st, regardless of when it was started, counts. So enter it in. It can be knit or crochet. Either is good. So far mine have all been crochet, and mine will probably be all crochet because I just don't enjoy knitting toys. But we'll see. There's still another month before I throw in the towel on stuffies. There's a coupon code for the Amy Eyes shop running with this. It's Amy Eyes on Etsy, and the coupon code is BPC 2014. And that coupon code is good for 10% off any purchase of $5 or more. And it's super easy to spend $5 in that shop because all of the eyes are amazing. If you haven't looked at Lucas's stuff, what are you waiting for? Just go over there, check it out, especially if you're making stuffies for anybody and you want something better than just plain black eyes. The tag for this is BPHSTUFFYS14, and the prizes are a set of eyes from Amy Eyes and also a skein of yarn from Dancing Dog Dye Works in the Flamenco DK, the colorway I Believe. My finished objects this week. One is an older-ish finished object. It's been done for a few weeks, but I couldn't show it to you because the pattern wasn't released. It's a test knit. I test knit the Scottish Nightmare by Josh Ricks. So there's the side detail, this side. I used the Sensations Truly yarn. Is this Truly Turquoise? That's the solid color. And then the variegated is Lorna's Laces. Shepherd Sock in the Black Watch colorway. I love the variegated strips in here. I think that they add just, a little more fun. The pattern is fantastic as written. It's written for 2 solids, or yeah, I think it's solids, but I love variegated. And I think the shawl turned out beautifully. It's a Christmas present for my partner's mom because she was telling me a story of how she has a sweater that she wore out in the elbows, and it's just her in the office sweater, and I thought that maybe a shawl would be a nice option too instead of a sweater because you can't wear out the elbows on a shawl. My other finished, and that pattern has been released obviously since I'm telling you about that. It's from his Bard collection. He designed 5 shawls based on tragedies from William Shakespeare. I'm too tired to remember who William Shakespeare is, like to remember the name. That is a tragedy right there. My other finished object is a pair of socks that I designed. They're little footy socks. So there's the back of the leg. There's the bottom of the feet. I used Solar Flare fibers, Apollo base, and Confetti Silver Cake, which I love this color so much. I'm still super in love with this color. And these are size 9 socks, women's, and they used less than half a skein. So I can make 2 pairs of this particular sock using a skein of yarn. If you're interested in testing footy socks, let me know. I hope to have the pattern, well, the pattern will be written up by the end of the month. Maybe before then, but probably not. I mean, that's only a week away. So if you're interested, let me know, send me a PM, comment in the thread, all the regular ways. And I worked that on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. A Scottish Nightmare was worked on a US 5 3.75 millimeter needle. Works in progress. I have a lot of them. I have a pair of design mitts, which they look like this. And the yarn that I'm using looks like this. Can you see that there's a cake under there? Do you know what all that wrapping means? It means that I was designing these mitts and I am doing them top down, so from here down. And I did the thumb gusset and I just didn't love it. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's okay. And then I slept on it and I woke up in the morning and I was like, you know what would be awesome? This. So I had to rip back probably 20 rounds because I had done the thumb gusset and then a little bit more. So yeah, that's a lot of work that was undone. It'll be fine. It won't take too long to make up that work. This yarn is absolutely gorgeous. It is Cyborg Craft Room Asakalate in Impromptu Dance Party, and I love it. Right? All the variegateds need to belong to me because I love them so much. Look at how pretty. It's gorgeous. I have a test knit. I'm going to go through all the things that you can't see fully first. So I have a test knit from Lisa, and I almost showed you the front of the foot. That would not have been good. So I'm through the heel on the first one. I'm doing the heel on the second one today and hopefully a little bit more, but we will see. My days are very busy now. I'm using, for this test knit, toe footsies, which you can see the little crab has fiber from shrimp and crab shells. And my plan is to give this to Allison, who won the last knit along we did. What was that, charity knit along? Yes, she won the prize for that. But I don't know if she's allergic to shellfish, so this might not be for Allison. Tour de Fleece is still going on. Today's a rest day, which is actually kind of nice because I didn't spin all 3 of my projects yesterday, so I can catch up on the one that I didn't spin yesterday today. But yeah, the Tour de Fleece is still going, and it ends a week from yesterday. The 27th of July is when it ends. So let's see what I have accomplished. I don't even know if you can tell that this turtle is much bigger than it was last week. I don't think I had started the last bit of fiber last week, but now I'm on the last bit. And once this is spun, that is the end of this fiber. My plan for this is to spin, I have some brown wool, and spin that as a sport or DK weight single, and then ply these 2 together. So this is lace, so it'll be an intentional art yarn. I've only done a few of those. I think it will be really cool. I don't anticipate getting a ton of yardage out of that, so no like huge projects, because obviously this is my pink single. But I'm excited to try that out. It'll be a new type of yarn structure for me. I don't know what the fiber is, and I don't know what type of spindle that is. I'm sorry. I'll tell you as soon as I know what type of spindle that is. I'm still spinning on my Spanish Peacock supported spindle, and I have been very faithful to 10 minutes a day, which is about how long it takes me to spin a rolag, maybe 2 if I carded a smaller set of rolags than I do 2 a day. It's going pretty well. I think you can see the single on the shaft. So for the most part, it's about this thick. Sometimes it gets a little bit thicker and slubbier, and if I'm feeling really lazy, I don't fix it, but usually I fix it. So it's pretty even. It's very, very squishy, this style of spinning the woolen spinning. It's very, very squishy. I'm excited to spin the other half of the braid, my regular, which is I guess a worsted, and ply them together and see what the resulting yarn is like, because the two plies will have totally different characteristics. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I'm going to do it unless someone says that's a really awful idea. And then I probably won't. But I still think that I might, because why not? It's not yarn that I'm spinning for any particular project. It'll be whatever the yarn wants to be once it's made. And the fiber that I'm spinning is Cloud Lover. It is a Merino Superwash Merino Silk Blend, 40-40-20, and the colorway is Blackberry Truffle. That's gorgeous. Love it very much. My final spinning project, which is the one that I did not work on yesterday, so I'll be doing I'll be working on it today and then probably doing extra, is the Huckleberry Knits Superwash BFL that I'm spinning into a lace weight. I'm still on the 3rd ounce. I've done a little more plying this week. Probably won't finish this by the end of the month because I'm losing steam a little bit. This past week for Tour de Fleece, it has been a little challenging to just spin. I don't know. I don't know what else I've been wanting to work on, but I have had to I've had to be mom voiced a couple times into spinning. But I love what I'm spinning. I love all of the fibers that I'm spinning. It's not the fiber's fault, and it's not the spindle's fault. Oh, this is a Golding. This one. All of my spindles are great. All of my fibers are great. I don't know. I'm running out of steam. I think it's because I'm doing so much spinning, because usually I have one project that I work on for about 20 minutes a day. And I mean, if I do more than that on any given day, that's fine, but it's only one project. And if I miss a day, it's not the end of the world. But I'm really, really trying to spin all 3 of those projects every day for a set number of minutes. And it's kind of draining. It's making me a little tired of spinning. It'll be fine though. I'm going to persevere. It's only 1 more week, right? It's only a 3-week tour. I'll be fine. Spoiler alert, if you're doing the urban survival and you are behind and you don't want to be spoiled, then look away, but I'm very behind. You don't have to skip ahead or anything, just look away a little. I finished Clue 3, which is those textured bands. That is Clue 3, and I love the way those textured bands turned out. And I have started Clue 4. Clue 5 was released on Saturday, and there are already some finished objects, and they are all very lovely. I looked at the spoiler thread because I already knew what it looked like. Clue 4 is this right here, which I'm not going to talk about because people might not be there yet. But it's bunched up because I'm working mine all on one needle. You can work it on 2 different needles, and that might be easier for some people, but I only have one US size 4 circular, so that's what I'm using, and that's 3.5 millimeter needles. The yarn that I'm using is the Sensations Truly in turquoise. It's the same yarn that I used for the contrast color in Scottish Nightmare. This is Serenity Sock in charcoal. And my variegated, because I don't think that I could possibly do a Josh shawl without variegated to make him twitch a little, is Nooch Fiber Midtown Sock in Fade Out. And plus I just really like variegated. Well, that's not true about the Josh shawl in variegated, because this is not really a variegated, and the shawl that I'm wearing is Steel City, which Josh designed. My final work in progress is for the Stuffy Along. It is in lots of little pieces right now. I haven't started putting things together. So these, do you see the eyes? If I hide behind it, can you see them? No. So these eyes are from Amy Eyes, and they are purple sparkle eyes. I have the head, ears, which I changed from the pattern because what I'm using is Rocco by Lydia Tresselt, and it's to make a raccoon, but I want a panda. So I didn't want the ears quite as pointy. I made them a little more round. It was a really easy modification. I just changed, I think, 2 stitches from double crochet to half double crochet or something. It was a very simple fix. I have both of the arms and the hands. There is going to be this adorable mask. And I've started the hood. I think that this purple will work fine for the white. So it's obviously a little more gray than the undyed 716 yarn that I used for the head and hands. It's a little more gray than that. But I think it will work just fine. And if my sister doesn't like it, then I will keep it and she can make her own. The yarn that I'm using for the purple bits is Sensations Bamboo and You pattern in the purple black pattern. Hexapuffs, I have 9 of them. These are all from ZK yarn. I think this one's my favorite this week. I don't know what this yarn is, but I think it's my favorite that I made. This is Jilly, which is from Dream in Color. It was a little sample that we got in the goodie bag. This came from Jenna for sure. And then I don't know what any of these ones are either, but they're pretty. This one sparkles. It's black with sparkle. This is red and pinky with sparkles. No sparkles, no sparkles. And I had the Jilly was my celebratory hexapuff. Just has 2 pearl ridges, just because. My sock yarn blanket did not get as much love this week. Just, I don't know. I think it's because, okay, so normally I read when I do the sock yarn squares, but what I was reading was not something that I loved. So I was just avoiding sitting in my chair and reading. So I only did 5 squares this week. I think 5. This one, this one, this one, which I do know what this is. This is fishnets. So this hexapuff and the square, this is fishnets in the mellow 4-ply. And then I did these 2 squares as well. I will catch up today, maybe tomorrow, on the blanket and then keep up with how many I'm supposed to be doing. Oh yeah, this is today's hexapuff because I needed something really simple that I didn't have to think about first thing this morning. So that hexapuff is from today. So tomorrow might be short. Next week might be short by 1. I have new things. I got these yesterday when I went to knitting. These were leftovers from 2 pairs of socks that one of the ladies had finished in the past 2 weeks. So that's exciting. That will be going into the sock yarn blanket soon. And I also received a package from Jenna of 716. Look at her cute postcards. Knit Buffalo is her yarn truck, which sounds like, from all accounts, a tremendous success. She had her opening and has been to a few craft show things in New York. So that's awesome. She's doing great. Thank you, everybody who supported her when she had her Indiegogo. Thank you, everybody who buys her yarn from her updates. It's really cool to see people in the fiber community be really successful. So the package that I received is basically a proto kit for the cowl that I designed, the stripy green and pink one. I did a stockinette version for self-striping yarn, and I designed a garter version, but I haven't knit up the sample of that yet. So I will be knitting up the garter version in these two half skeins of 716 knit, 716 boss. This one is You Taste Like Ashes, and then this colorway is Orchid. So that will be coming up very soon. I wanted to cast on over the weekend, didn't get there. Hopefully this week I will cast that on. I am still, well, no, I'm not still reading. Actually, as of last night, I am finished with The Story of King Arthur and His Knights by Howard Pyle. I still don't like the characters. The Code of Chivalry seems really ridiculous. I can't. I was reading it yesterday, and I was actually being kind of rude. I was in a VKN, but nobody was talking. We were all kind of just sitting around, and I was making hexapuffs. I was catching up on my hexapuff stuff, and I can do that and read at the same time. So I did, because nobody was talking. And I mean, that might be kind of rude, but whatever. Nobody was talking. And I paid attention whenever anyone said anything. So I was reading, and every page or so, I had to give a brief synopsis of how ridiculous the story was. And I was not the only person who thought that it was just ridiculous. These people were ridiculous. Basically, it's the story of how a lot of men are PMSing. Basically, they're like angsty teenagers who are running off and being all PMSy and ragey. It's a fine story if you don't have to read it. The synopses were fun. I enjoyed giving them. I did not so much enjoy the reading of the book. So I wouldn't really recommend it unless you like classic stories and you are super into King Arthur, which I am, which is why I read it. I have another finished object. I'm just going to tell you about it. It's not too exciting. I made a dishcloth yesterday because one of the ladies at my knit group wanted to learn how to do mitered squares. She's very new to knitting, less than a year. She's seen a few mitered squared projects. She wanted to make mitered squares, and I was like, well, I can teach you how to make a mitered square dishcloth. That'll be super simple. So I brought in needles and yarn. Speaking of, there used to be a cone of cotton that lived up there, and she bought it from me yesterday. I was just going to give it to her because I don't really use cotton, but she insisted, so yay! I destashed a thing of yarn that I have had for a couple years and barely used at all. So I made a mitered square dishcloth. It's, it's about that big. I like my dishcloths to be about this size. Not this size, like this size. And it's just peaches and cream. I got it for a ball of it for $1 at Dollar Tree when they discontinued it. On to life stuff. Okay, so this is where it's going to get rambly. I'm going to say goodbye to anybody who doesn't want to listen to rambly because, yeah. I am no longer a stay-at-home mom. Actually, I am. I am a stay-at-home mom, but I'm not that's no longer my only occupation. That's my day job. My day job is being at home with my kids, and that's awesome, and I love it. And now my evening job is being a cashier at the local grocery store. It's mostly so that because we're trying to buy this house and stuff, it's so that we can have all the money that you need when you decide you want to change things in a house, and for extra money for kids stuff like bikes and the big purchases for kids, the big extras. So I want to be able to stay home with my kids, and the reality is that childcare is expensive, so I would have to get a super high paying job. Not super, but pretty high paying if I wanted to work during the day, and if I wanted to work during the day, because I would have to pay for childcare since it's summertime. And Mara is only 3. Anyway, yeah, this is totally going to be rambling. So it's there aren't a ton of jobs that are available with for someone who can work, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. There are a lot of jobs. There are not a lot of jobs that I'm super interested in, and cashiering is not the most fun job ever. I don't love it. It's not the best job I've ever had. It's not the worst job I've ever had either. But, it is what it is. And the thing about it, though, is my availability for work is my crafting time, basically. I mean, I can craft a little bit during the day, but kids go to bed at 8, and then from 8 until I go to sleep is when I craft, and that's anywhere from 10 p.m. to about midnight. Midnights are super late for me, but I now don't have that time. I've only been working there a week and a half. So my first week was pretty light on the shifts, but this is going into the second week. And I'm working 4 evenings, which means I'm losing out on 4 evenings worth of crafting, which I'm not sure how interesting or uninteresting that will make this podcast. Hopefully people will still watch, because there are people who podcast who have full-time jobs and don't produce as much stuff as I have been producing. So hopefully that's fine with you guys. The hard part about this job is that I'm very much an introvert, and I need my evening crafting time, because I need that quiet time after the kids go to bed to just have my space and do my own thing and recharge. Some introverts are good with like 5 minutes of recharge. I'm not that introvert. I need hours at the end of the day to just sit and do my thing and have quiet time and VKN if I want to, or not if I don't want to. So I'm really, really tired today. I worked last night, and I came home and I didn't get the chance to chill at the end of the night, which is really, really, really hard to not have that time. And I know it was going to be, because I know me, I've been me for, 28 years, and I need the quiet me time, which I didn't get yesterday because I woke up with the kids. I went to knitting, which is fun, but that's with people. And then I came back and we did dinner, and I didn't get a break. I couldn't have quiet alone time. And then I went to work, and then I came home and there was no quiet alone time. And then I woke up this morning with the kids, and I've already had to stop the podcast several times because of the kids wanting and needing things. So I'm still going to record Like, that's not an issue, but I don't know what the quality of the recording is going to be like, because I'm going to be tired. And not just tired, but not like physically tired, although I am physically tired because my schedule has, I've worked till 11 all last week. I worked till 11 last night, and then 2 nights this week I work until midnight, which is past my bedtime, because really my bedtime is about 10:30 most of the time. So I'm staying up past my bedtime, so I'm physically tired, but then I'm also emotionally drained. So hopefully this will still, like, hopefully my podcast will still be one that you enjoy. It just might be a little bumpy for, I want to say a month, but probably a couple months while I get into this new rhythm of not having my evenings to myself, which I really, really need. Oh, this is gonna be a little bit of a train wreck. You won't see it, hopefully, but I can already tell that I'm going to have a moment this week. I can feel it. It's building up. So anyway, I think I'm done with my ramble, and I hope that wasn't too, like, boo-hoo or anything for you guys. But I know that some people enjoy hearing what's going on. So that's what's going on with me. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will see you next week. Bye!